I'm Lee at Iridium. Hope you're doing all right. It's bank holiday. The sun's shining and it's only 7 o'clock in the morning. Bank holiday in England, by the way. I don't know if it's the same all the way around the world, but it's bank holiday here and it's nice, and I'm going to go to the beach today. So before I do that, I'm going to review the new album by Kent Hilli called The Rumble. Now, the lovely people at Frontiers now trust me and I get promos of new albums coming out. So this ain't actually out till the 18th of June. So it's an honour to get albums by the great label Frontiers. Let's just put that out there first. You know, all these albums I'm getting to review, it's excellent to be trusted as a reviewer. Let's just get that clear first. So thank you very much, Frontiers Records. So Kent Hilli. Now, a couple of albums from the band Perfect Plan. He's the front man for Perfect Plan. Brilliant band. One of the top albums, I think it was last year. Time for a Miracle came out. He has got one of the best vocals out there in that AOR melodic rock scene. Now, people are calling out for him to, you know, do a front Survivor. That's no, you know, look at the Survivor vocalist. There's been the late Jimmy Jamison. Kent Hilli's got that. He's got that in spades. He's a brilliant vocalist. I could easily hear him or see him fronting Survivor. I wish he'd do something like that, you know, bring some life back into that band and get a new album or something like that. It'd be great. So Kent's influences are obviously Survivor, Foreigner, those sort of bands. And you can hear it all the way through this album. How does this compare to Perfect Plan? Perfect Plan are great in their own right. This is very similar. Now, it's not straying too far away from that Perfect Plan sound. It's a little bit more melodic, a little bit more AOR. I would say, you know, it's not like this is a full AOR album. You get hard rock on here. You get some heavier songs, but the guitar is probably a little bit quieter. And it's good because you get something different from Perfect Plan. If it was just another a Perfect Plan album, you know what I mean, what's the use in that? He might as well just go and make another Perfect Plan album with them. He's done something different. It's a little bit lighter. You know, it's a little bit more, like I said, AOR. The guitars are quite not up front, although on some songs they are more than others. There's a lot of variation on here. You get, like I said, the heavier songs and you get the AOR songs. A couple of ballads. It's a really cool listen, actually. And Mike Palace has produced this album. Does a great job throughout this album. It's just has got that sound that you want from this sort of music. I mean, a lot of these songs, half of them, I would say, I was listening to them and you can imagine them on a soundtrack, you know, an 80s soundtrack. They just would fit straight in without a doubt. 90% of this album was written by Kent Hilli. So only a couple of influences from, you know, outside writers just helping on a couple of songs. But apart from that, his own songs. So that's really cool because, you know, it's nice to have his own identity across the records. Sometimes there's too much outside writing and it can influence the sound, and sometimes the artist is not really singing what he wants to sing because, you know, I suppose he's more proud of his own work, and that's what you get here. He's a great songwriter. Mike Palace also, apart from doing the producing, he's doing everything else on this album. So Kent's doing the vocals, and I believe Mike Palace does all the other instrumentation. Does a great job, absolutely brilliant job. You know what? This has come out at a perfect time. We're coming out at a perfect time in the middle of June. The perfect summer album. It really is. You can imagine this album, a few beers, barbecue, friends, family, and this is, you know, everyone would like this album. It's really accessible in a good way, in a really good way, and that's how it's meant to be. It's nice. It's really nice to listen to. Heavier in places, but every song in here is absolutely great. Good to great. So, kicks off with one of the best tracks. The Rumble. Never Say Die in brackets. So after a little synth intro, it just breaks into an excellent 80s inspired riff. And listen, I will say 80s a lot in this, and it winds me up myself because we're not in the 80s anymore. But people want to hear, you know, if people are the fans of the 80s, there's a lot out there. You need to know that this would fit straight into those, you know, 80s albums you had all them years ago. It's got like a stomp, which a few of these songs have, which I'll get into later, but the Rumble's got like a stomp, that Survivor stomp. Now, I will also let you know what bands, you know, some of these songs sound like. And I'm sure Kent Hilli knows his influences are they're right up front. He says he's a fan of all these bands, so I'm sure he won't mind if he hears this review. It's almost the Rumble, Never Say Die. I was listening to it and I could just imagine it being like the training session just before Rocky's big fight. Without a doubt, it's got one of those inspirational, you know, he's going to win and he's training, one of those, you know, bits of the film just before the big fight. Great song. I wish the guitar he's played down a little bit on this album compared to Perfect Plan. Perfect Plan, he's not, you know, he's not full on metal, by the way. It's still melodic, heavy rock. It's just the guitar is a little bit quiet on this album because it's meant to be. It's a bit different. It's a bit more lighter than the Perfect Plan music, but it's still absolutely brilliant. But this is a guitar song, The Rumble. The guitar solo is great. Sometimes I'm a bit of a guitar freak, so I want it a bit louder, that's all. Second song in is Cold, another like keyboard intro, then another great 80s inspired riff kicks in. He's got a beautiful tone to his voice, Kent Hilli. And when he does that deeper range like he does on this, he's almost got like a Coverdale low end range vocal going on. Absolutely brilliant singer. Cold is an excellent song, second song in. Next is All for Love. Now, these next two are pure AOR. You've got All for Love and I Can't Wait. The I Can't Wait is a single. So these two together, they are just really pure AOR. His voice just fits perfectly into that All for Love song. Perfect summer song. And then, like I said, it kicks into that single as well, I Can't Wait. No, I can't wait for love. Another synth intro. Pure AOR track with sort of synth-laden melodies going through it. Another Survivor sounding song without a doubt. This album is very close to that Survivor sound. You know, Vital Signs, them sort of albums. Moving on to the next track, another single. So the two singles that have been released so far, I think there's only two, that they're both together on the album, is Don't Say It's Forever. Don't say it's forever! Bit of a stomp to this yet again. With a slight You Give Love a Bad Name type riff. You know, that ding, 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 that sort of riff going on. The guitar is a little bit more up front, a bit like the title track, The Rumble on this one. So Don't Say It's, you know, it's a little bit more up front. Not fully metal, but the guitar's louder in the mix. It's a heavier song. Great backing vocals, like there is all the way through this album. It's really adding like a sugary sort of texture to all these choruses, then backing vocals on a band like this, or a project like this, solo album, where it's AOR, melodic rock. Backing vocals are an essential part, and that's what you get throughout this. Really nice backing vocals, you know, great, absolutely great. They fill up those choruses. Next up is Miss Up to No Good. After a bluesy sort of southern sort of part, right at the beginning, you get a little bit of a rockier track, then into a sort of a Foreigner feel on this one. I really like this track. I love Foreigner, and you know, Kent, I think, in Perfect Plan has covered Foreigner music as well, so he's obviously a big fan. Next is Heaven Can Wait, not the Iron Maiden track, not a cover of that. It's a ballad, this one. Piano and vocal. Just, it doesn't really go into the power ballad, doesn't build up into big guitars or anything. Stays at a very mellow vibe, but what you get Kent Hilli's voice all the way through with piano a little, you know, a bit of percussion maybe, but it's just his voice, man. He's so smooth. It's so smooth. Great song. You know, and I'm not a big one for them songs that don't really go anywhere sometimes. But when you've got a voice, like Kent Hilli, it just, you know, makes the song almost. Next up is track 8 is Does It Feel Like Love? A bit rockier. So it's good, this album, because it gives you like something a bit mellow, AOR, then it goes rockier throughout the album. So it gives you those different vibes. Survivor feels again on Does It Feel Like Love. Another great 80s soundtrack vibe, I must say. You know, maybe some of these 80s series that are coming out, Cobra Kai and things like that, these songs would just fit in it perfectly. Got that stomp again, like I said, that Survivor stomp, Does It Feel Like Love? Great song. One of my favourites, actually, Does It Feel Like Love? Track 9 is Love Can Last Forever. Like a semi sort of ballad. True AOR without a doubt. And yet again, those Survivor vibes kicking in again for me. Really cool song, that. This is not quite a ballad because it's sort of got that, you know, it'd be a ballad for other projects. You know, if other bands played this, it would be a ballad. But obviously, the type of music this is, AOR, it's not quite a ballad for me in this actual album. Never Be Mine is track 10. A little bluesy in the verses, but a lovely AOR chorus as well. Again, knocking back to that Foreigner vibe on that. And then it finishes with a great song, Still in Love. A ballad, actually, proper ballad, great vocal, almost Jolene Turner vocals coming out here, that real soulful sound. Epic sounding, great chorus actually on this. Out of all the ballad type songs, Still in Love's probably my favourite one. And that ends the album. Great to end on a ballad. I either like to end on ballads or something a bit epic. This album does it in Still in Love. So yeah, really impressed with this Kent Hilli album. Great. If you're into Perfect Plan and you're into your melodic rock AOR stuff, you will not be disappointed. You can't be disappointed in this because you get great vocals, you get all those harmonies, you get great guitar solos, and it's just a perfect, like I said, a summer album. This is the sort of thing that come on in your car, anyone can listen to. Absolutely brilliant. Apart from if you like rap music. You won't be watching this channel anyway, so there you go. Anyway, thanks for listening. I really recommend the new Kent Hilli album. If you haven't pre-ordered it, pre-order it now, and I'll see you next time.